have to shh. You don't have to shh. good, the booth is on.
I have no friends or family. Can I sit with you?
Here? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to like walk and be like, hi, Katie. But yeah, I have children, family, nothing. So
I have no friends or
like I'm
family.
awkwardly just like.
I hope the live stream heard that comment.
Oh yeah.
Because it's on.
So I will
Okay.
come sit with you.
That was so weird. Okay, I'm gonna head out. So I'm hearing the live stream and it's about to be started, so I'm gonna into the live stream and have this video next. Okay, I'll call you when it's done. I haven't decided what I'm coming over after, but I feel like I know I'm going to do
Are his scores up here?
No, does he not know where they are?
He doesn't know where they are.
He didn't use them today in rehearsal. But
They're not on the podium, are they?
No. Come on, I think those are Jake's. Also, do you know how to get this so it's not like so blurry? Because it's like just blurred over.
Yeah, let's there's a way to,
Oh, with the lens.
I think. Wait, nope, that's not doing it. I don't know. I thought,
It might just be a little blurry then.
like, is there a way to focus it?
I think so. I was like touching it, but
Sometimes it's just not great quality.
okay.
Mostly as long as they can hear it.
Yeah,
Right? So-
that's what they're here for.
Okay, I'm
But
gonna.
yeah, no, the scores are not up here. He didn't have them all day today,
Yeah, I know.
so and I can slide over more if you want to.
All right, I might just do that
Because all I need is this single button.
because I don't want to bump the. Yeah. But... Can this be tight? Yeah, I think it's gonna the best it's gonna be. So.
Yeah.
Okay, they found him. Or well, we'll probably Jake found him.
Really? Well, you can do it.
It's just like because usually when Dan comes to the concert, like he should
He does.
no, he has children or wife or someone to like sit with. So or like I don't. So I'm just like
You just kind of.
yeah. And so I with my go-to place in the bank, I would always like just sit up here, and then because I'm here, I just offer to do the lights down. But then one year I did a really bad job because I used the house light instead of the whiteboard. And I was like, oh, I really bad.
Did he? I think the one just all the way up.
Just all the way, so that goes off.
I think up first and then off.
But I used one time setting it there on accident, and it was missing like a whole row of light. Like for the choir concert, that's usually what I use, just because it works. But with percussion in the back, I had no light, and so I was like, such a one of the it's a advantages because on one hand you get to know you get to like and I think the James talked about like building a program and not just recruiting kids and that can be a huge benefit because like if one of the older siblings is like mom and dad are like so that is kind of a part. The downside is that and then also like sometimes there's like it's something that's hard for the kids because like sometimes they have like prior expectations. Like for example, if someone has to be what's up?
How's those?
We're just talking about how bad the theater directors are here.
Oh, sorry. You see how bad the kids are acting? Just saying. I know.
Mr. Brandberg's. But no, they're great. It's gonna be great. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna rock it.
So, but yeah, so it's just like and it's like imagine it's Colorado. So it's like Colorado just like. And so sometimes that's hard for kids when they're not in music. But it's also not just music, that's sports, that's everything where siblings are
Yeah, I have a twin sister, so I experienced all of that in high school.
So that's like, it's, well, I would say it's more beneficial than not, mostly because you just get to know their families so well, and then also get some of those younger siblings get really tired, you get to apply because they're nice to them. It's another great way to recruit and get involved. Are y'all doing 3 or 4?
3. Cooper's doing 5.
Yeah, but they're all short.
Yeah.
Because I teach all the security band lessons, so I'm like, one's like 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is great, I mean, whatever.
Hey, who should I thank of?
Me, Mr. Barron, the best mentor that I've ever experienced. Don't ever, if you say that, I will leave. I will walk out. No, I would just say, because you closed the concert, right? You closed the concert. I always do a quick shout out to admin.
Yep. Do you specify what you were saying?
I personally do. I say Mr. Abel, Mr. And sometimes for you would, because this is middle school specific, you should like, huge thanks to our superintendent, Mr. Lounge, and if you want to. Otherwise, you could just say thanks for the registration.
Do you think the studio stuff?
I used to just like because they used to accept stuff up. Like now that they're not like I don't know. I personally just say like I shout out our music team just because I say like I have a great team of college, but it's like kind of already given for you since you and Dan are doing concert. So you don't really need to say anything. I would just say maybe admin, parents, sport, kids. Everyone's different. You can kind of decide what you want. My nose just could not be more violent. I would wait. Yeah, well, because I always bring them on back. I gave them the Anderson. They call it. I don't know. I guess it works either way. Oh shit, this kid's like.
Good evening, and thank you for coming to our first concert of the year tonight. It feels like a new building, although it's not. Like, here's what's really great. We entered from like what last year was like a field, and it was so easy today. The setup, everything. Like, we just got to walk out here and practice. It was so cool. And when we warmed up, it wasn't in a gym, and I didn't have to like fight like the JV basketball players. Like, hey, get out of here! We're trying to warm up for a concert. And then the kids would like run around playing basketball, and you have to like tell them like stop shooting hoops or anything. They just came to the band room. Also, I apologize if you're one of the people that was out there waiting for us to unlock the doors. Mr. Brandenburg and I were just literally sitting backstage like, oh man, this is like the most quiet and peaceful it's been before a concert since I can remember. I really am sorry if you had to wait out in the cold, but it was a really nice way for us to like pre-concert or pre-game. And then all of a sudden we realized, oh, there's a ton of people waiting. We're going to kick things off for you today. I know you might be like, oh my gosh, 5 songs, but they're lickety quick. They're pretty fast. Our first one is some selections from Queen. It's called Power Rock. You may recognize this, 6th grade parents, from some of our first materials way back last year. I bet you didn't know that Freddie Mercury was like so conducive to beginning band, so it was really great. They're like, oh my gosh, no one likes us and Power Rock, and We Will Rock You, which is just a ton of fun. Our next one, I hope that you can hear the title in how we play. It's called Majestic March, and I try to like think of get the kids to like think of like what they think of majestic, okay, and I was like superhero, like mountaintops, like any of those, like, oh, majestic. I think maybe we even talked about like hitting a home run, you know, like just like that, like watched it just like blast off into outer space, like majestic. I hope that you hear that as we play this. We hope you enjoy it. Everybody gets a little bit of the melody. It's Majestic March. This next piece, imagine that you're like out for a walk in the country, maybe you're riding a horse, but it's just like kind of a slow saunter. It's called country, so saunter, not santer, that's not a word, saunter, I don't think it is anyway. Saunter through the countryside. You'll even hear the clip-clop of the horse hooves back there. One of the things that's kind of exciting as we get into 6th grade, we meet more often, and so we get to do more things, we learn more notes. Part of that is percussion playing more equipment, and so Charlotte back there is playing the temple blocks. That's what the sound that you'll hear that sounds kind of like horses' hooves. We hope you enjoy it. It's Country Caper. All right, we're approaching the end of our program. Not quite yet, but close. Close enough that the 7th and 8th grade are quietly, very quietly leaving, ready to prepare their portion of tonight's performance. So I thought I had to talk some more, just to like fill the time, because it would take forever to get out. One of the great things that I think we'll see that's happening this year is that our district is growing, and part of that is getting to grow our staff. So it's really exciting. Later I get to introduce to you a new colleague of mine, and I think you'll enjoy him. The kids, it's really kind of funny because like forever and ever I've been kind of like single parenting this big crew of like children. I mean, like if you're a single parent, you know that's how to make light of that because it's impossible, right? You're like, oh my gosh, how can I be everything to everyone? So it's been really great to be able to like unload some of that. And the crazy thing, like tonight for tonight's performance, I was like, I'm so not worried. Like I just have nothing to worry about. And we got finished today. It was like super easy. One of the great things I hope that you can hear when you hear this 6th grade band, especially 6th grade parents, is how much we have grown from last year to this year. Like, I know they didn't practice much over the summer. Okay, I know they did not practice over the summer. In fact, if you don't know, I'll tell you, they did not practice over the summer. Okay, but we, just like being on a regular schedule at Ottawa Elementary, we get to meet at regular times. So last year, we met 1 time a week. This year, it's 3 times a week. That's so crazy. Like, already this school year, I've seen them more than we did at all of last year, the entire year. So it's great, it's awesome. And we meet 3 days in a row, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And at first the kids are like, oh my gosh, I want to study hall. But then once they like blocked YouTube, all of a sudden it wasn't a big deal anymore. Like they were like, not an issue, right? They were just like, oh yeah, we can come to band. But what's great is we get to see each other a lot for 3 days. Every Thursday though, so every Thursday, like we have to end class with like, guys, it's a rough 5 days. We're going to be away from each other for 5 entire days. And so it's really fun to get to know them. A lot of them are really kind of weird, like really weird. I mean, like parents, you probably know, but really weird. We just like had a little moment where we listened to a recording, okay, and they were sharing out some comments, and one of their comments was about how hot my mom is. And I was like, that's no more comments of that. But first of all, I was like, have you seen my mom? I don't think she's that hot. But if you're watching on the live stream, Mom, hey, just so you know, Matthew Muller there, like, he just I don't know if he just assumed, he was like, your mom is hot. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a compliment. Thanks, Matthew. And like, he probably didn't know. He thought he was like gonna do this great joke in the middle of class, and then I get to embarrass him like right here tonight. It's on YouTube forever. Awesome. I bet he probably doesn't talk about my mom anymore. But if you don't know which one Matthew is, just like guess by who's the reddest in the Matthew. We have one more song for you. It's going to feature some of the trombones in a little bit of a kind of goofy march. This song is called Miser's March. Keep your eye on the trombone section. All right, I informed you that that was our last piece. I'm sorry, it's not true. We have another piece. And I really love this one. It's called The Last Dragon. And I tell the kids, like, imagine like there's a dragon, it's attacking our home, our village, or whatever. Because we all would live in the same village. And of course, we'd also be abandoned this like ancient village where there's still dragons. But we go out hunting this dragon because we're like, Luke, you gotta stop eating our sheep and like destroying our village and stuff. So just imagine that whole scene, okay? So like we got like dragons are attacking, and then we're like coming together, like, all right, we're gonna hunt this dragon. We're like sneaking through the forest, super quiet, all sneaky like. Okay, and then huge battle scene, okay, epic. One time I actually acted out the dragon fight while they were playing, because they were like kind of playing it not very loud. And I was like, no, you gotta be like, stab, sword, like, oh, my arm. So, like I was like way out of breath. But they did it a lot better. And then you can even picture if you want, like, depending on your level of cinematic imagination, like the final scene, like it's like this, like, oh no, they're gonna kill us, or like, oh no, we're gonna kill the dragon, like, who's gonna die first, who's gonna blow up the village, or are we gonna get him in time? And then like, boom, we get him. I told the kids, like, it ends in a giant fireball, like as we like shoot this arrow like right into his like eyeball, and that's like his weakness. It must be like right as he's about to blow flame on the village, and then like it like, you know, blows him up and everybody's saved. And so hopefully they do it. We got to talk a lot about dynamics in this, which is the big musical word that just means volume, because changing volume can make music a little more exciting, right? Like, you know, singing that song of like, oh man, this is like when they really bring it home, like here's like the breakdown, like, you know, like that's what makes it exciting. So it can't be loud all the time, much to their disappointment. We also had to talk, I mean, I figured Johnson's parents are out here. Hey, Jameson is one big, strong guy, and he has a swing on the bass drum that reminds me of Ken Griffey Jr. It is beautiful, but also he's like cranking home runs. Like we got like this bass drum, I was like, man, what did that bass drum do to you that hurt you so much that you're just like, winding up. And so hopefully, we've like, well, lots of things we had to work on. Maybe he's never played the bass drum that much. He's like, well, I'm trying to kill the dragon. Like, but the bass drum's like dead already. Okay, so you see back there, right? He's got it under control. He's fine. He's got it under control. Yeah. Yeah, but there was a lot like, geez, Jay, with the people in front of him, like their hair was like getting blown in front. It's like, it is a little too much, Jay. He's like, I like hitting hard. What can I say? What can you do? We hope you enjoy this. I have really enjoyed working with these guys. Thanks so much for having your kids out for band. I know it's a huge investment in time for you and also finances, plus the disruption that it causes to your home when they practice at your house. I hope you can hear a huge improvement and hope that you just keep continuing and coming out. After we perform our last piece, the 6th grade are just going to take a seat right down here where the 7th and 8th grade were for the 7th and 8th grade portion, and then I'll be back to introduce Mr. Brandenburg and the 7th and 8th grade band. Here's our last piece, The Last Dragon.
Said once they sit them well, once he starts talking about shit.
Read online.
Well, this is the 7th and 8th grade band that you see in front of you, and I was remiss, I forgot, I was like, this is the end of my part of tonight's performance, and I didn't thank anyone. Mr. Baird, Mr. Brandenburg, and I are all a part of like our band department, our music department, and none of this would be possible without all of their work, the teamwork together, and also the work that came before from Mrs. Downs. So like a huge shout out, a huge thanks to Miss Rinman, our awesome student teacher, Mr. Baird, the choir teacher, and I guess he's kind of part band teacher, he does some band lessons, and Mr. Brandenburg. Thank you guys so much, you're awesome colleagues. Round of applause for those guys. And of course, the people that like give us jobs, it's our administration team. Mr. Anderson, who's actually not here tonight because they just had a baby. Mr. Gable, who is here tonight. Mr. Score for getting his dates, and Mr. Lowers, of course, like the big head honcho. He's the one that approves everything this costs. I always tell them, I was like, hey, look, no joke. Actually, the kids would say, no cap. We are the most expensive thing in the school. It's true, we are. And they're like, no, surely not. The computer lab. I was like, but they're only like $1,000 a piece. And like, we give, I mean, Boy Munson over here, he's like a 10-year-old. We give him like a $4,000 tuba. Like, you just, hey, hold this. Like, wait, what? That's crazy. I mean, that would be like taking my car and be like, don't do anything wrong with this. So yeah, for sure, it's a huge investment from the district. Thank you to our administration for all the work that you put into it, wherever you're at. Mr. Gable, I think I saw you there. Thank you so much. And of course, you parents, I can't thank you enough. I put up with your kids a few hours a week. You have them all the time, and you are the true saints. Okay, a lot of times you're like, teachers, how do you put up with kids? I'm like, I mean, you know, you're the ones that raised them and stuff, right? So if they drive you nuts, like it's us too. So thank you, parents, for all the work, all the help that you have done with this. About a year ago, I started to lose my mind. Now, some of you that know me say, like, well, Mr. Cooper, me and can back up a few years before that. But just hear me out. We have so many kids in band. It's such a great thing. Our school district was growing so much. I really went to our administration team. I was like, hey, I don't want to like sound bad, but I can't keep doing this anymore. And sure enough, like we gathered some data. They were like so supportive, and we were able to find another teacher to add to our staff. And I'm so grateful that I was able to work with our administration to find a solution. I'm so grateful that we got to work with this new guy, Mr. Brandenburg. But I would tell you, if any of you, I'll call myself a little middle-aged. I mean, I don't know where the end is, but like it's safe to assume that I'm about halfway. I mean, I could be a little further than halfway. But anyway, I'm getting old. And nothing makes me feel older than being surrounded by 20-somethings. And they're like talking pop culture and stuff. Like, I just like found out today like what drip is. Like, that's good, by the way, drip. So it's like somebody's like, that fit is drip. I'm like, I don't know what language you're speaking, but we're both from the same country, and it should be English. And it is not. That means, by the way, your outfit is like really cool, or you look nice. Which is weird, because when something drips like this, that doesn't make any sense. It's not. It's like, what do you mean it's drip? So anyway, they've had to translate for me these 20-somethings. And Mr. Brandenburg, you'll see as you're about to meet him, he's got this like big, glorious beard. Maybe that was the first thing that attracted me to him in the first place. Because I remember being in my 20s and having a beard so that I would look older. And now I keep the beard so that it hides my double chins. And I know it's like it doesn't do the job, but still, it's still there. I'm so excited to introduce the 7th and 8th grade band. I am so excited to be able to share them with a colleague. Like it really means a lot. Like I can't tell you. Like I even have dreams about like, oh my gosh, I almost feel like it's so hard to like let go and give them away to someone else. You know, that stupid like butterfly thing. Like if you let it go, it's gonna come back. But I mean, it was really true. It was really hard to let someone else come in and do this. But I knew it was the only way that I could stay sane. So I am very pleased, and I hope that I get to keep introducing him year after year. I'm very pleased to announce to you Mr. Brandenburg and the 7th and 8th grade band.
Sorry, not quite as tall as Mr. Cooper here. Thank you so much for this awesome, warm Denver welcome. This is my first time on the other side of the ensemble. believe it or not. So thank you for that. But this isn't a celebration for me. It's a celebration for these kids. And it is great to work with them every single day. I'm thrilled to share this stage with them. They're just some fantastic young musicians. They're super hardworking. This group, if you didn't know, we meet every other day, day 2, 4, and 6. And yeah, it's just been a real pleasure to work with Mr. Cooper and Mr. Baird and the awesome faculty and staff here. Without further ado, our program tonight, it tells the story of a knight on his journey to meet the king. We begin that journey with Suncoast Processional by John O'Reilly. Mr. O'Reilly is the vice president of Elkhart Music for about 30 years, and he has conducted in 48 out of the 50 states. So imagine, if you will, the townsfolk are lining the streets, greeting this knight as he is about to embark on his journey to meet the king. This is Suncoast Processional by John O'Reilly. The next leg of our night's journey is through the North Woods. The North Woods March is by Steve Hodges. Mr. Hodges is a percussionist going on 30 plus years who has been working on many movie scores, film scores, working with a lot of progressive artists. In fact, in 1988, he toured with Smashing Pumpkins on their tour. So this is North Woods March. Please join our knight as he cruises through the woods on his way to meet the king. before the conclusion to our night's journey, I would just like to take this moment to thank the wonderful and receptive music staff that I've had helping me here at Denver, Mr. Baird and Mr. Cooper. They have been awesome mentors, they have been awesome friends and awesome peers, and I would just like to sincerely thank them for all their support in preparing for tonight's program. I'd also like to thank administration, Mr. Royals and Mr. Gable. None of this would be possible without their support and use of this facility. It's great, like Mr. Cooper was saying, we really just have a short walk across the hallway, and it's just so nice to be able to rehearse here pretty much whenever we would like to. So it's really nice to have this space, and of course, we couldn't do this without the parents. Thank you so much for all your support. We appreciate all the long drives you take to get your students to honors band, all the hours you spend after school, before school, bringing your students to these opportunities, and really give yourselves a round of applause. And of course, we couldn't do this without your awesome students, our awesome students. I am so glad to be able to feel a big part of this family. It's really been welcoming and receptive, and I've cherished every moment here. These are a great group of kids. I know you know it, I'm preaching to the choir, but you have to hear it every once in a while too. These are some awesome kids. So give your kids one more round of applause. So the final part of our night's journey is Of Castles and Kings by Frank Erickson. He has become a staple in band literature. That is, he's written so many pieces, I think it's over about 300 pieces by now, that bands across the world are playing. He even publishes books for aspiring conductors like myself to learn how to do the craft, to do the art, and he's just a great inspiration. This one, Castles and Kings, our knight has finally arrived at their destination, only to find that not everything is as it seems. He is filled with awe and wonder as he sees the magnificent castle. But there are also a few surprises that you will hear from the band. Hopefully you can catch those. This is Of Castles and Kings by Frank Erickson. Nancy, closing remarks. Thank you for coming. Please drive safe. It is deer season. Be careful out there. Thank you once again to all the parents, the administration, and the music faculty. We appreciate all of you. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time.